While avian flu hasn't infected dairy cows in Oregon, dairy farmers are still required to test their cows if they're moving them across state lines. And there's only one lab in the state that does that testing. We got to look inside at Oregon State University.
Right now I'm extracting bovine milk samples.
These small test tubes are filled with milk from cows across the state of Oregon.
These came from a dairy, and we have a pooling procedures that we are to do at this point.
They'll undergo a 4-hour test. At the end, technicians will know if there are traces of avian flu in the sample.
The virus in cattle has been diagnosed in 9 states, one of which is on our border to the east in Idaho.
Dr. Kurt Williams is the director of the Oregon Veterinary Diagnostic Lab at Oregon State University. His lab has conducted tests for avian flu over the past few years as it swept through poultry flocks and wild birds.
In especially domestic poultry, it's a devastating disease that can lead to the deaths of, and has led to the deaths of tens of millions of poultry in the United States.
The virus was identified for the first time in cows back in March, but the symptoms are different.
People working with the cows noticed that the cows, their appetites were suppressed, milk production had dropped, that the character, both visual characteristics and the consistency of the milk had changed.
Since then, avian flu has been detected in milk across the U.S.
There's no reason to be alarmed at this juncture. We have great food safety systems in the United States.
So if I'm going to the store and I'm going to buy a gallon of milk, I shouldn't be worried?
No, you shouldn't, if the milk's pasteurized.
So far, all of the milk samples Williams and his team have tested have come back negative for avian flu.
That you can rely on quality test results.
But Williams believes there are broader implications.
If this issue in dairy cattle evolves in such a way that it becomes much more fluid, it's possible that we could end up having to test thousands and thousands of samples of milk.
Something he says they're ready for. This lab ran hundreds of thousands of COVID tests during the pandemic.
I think the cat's out of the bag with this virus, that we're not going to stop the virus. It's everywhere. Now we're trying to keep it hemmed in to the best of our abilities.
So as dairy cows in Oregon continue to test negative for avian flu, Dr. Williams says we shouldn't stop testing. It's important to understand how this virus spreads and how it could change. In Corvallis, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.